Happy Sunday, everybody. It's hashtag Showcase Sunday, and this week's Showcase Sunday, wow, we are meeting the amazing Sally Edgar, who is from We Are Intro PR, an amazing company in Carlisle, but she's going to tell us all about it. So, Sally, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
Yeah, so I'm Sally Edgar. I'm the marketing manager at Intro, which is a PR, social media and content marketing agency based in Carlisle in the beautiful historic quarter by the cathedral. I've been in the media industry for almost 15 years, and at Intro we do everything from writing and pitching press releases to producing video content, managing social media campaigns, and also bigger creative campaigns like World Gravy Championships, Brighter Cumbria, all sorts of things. So it's really varied, and I love what I do. We can really make a difference to businesses, and I love seeing how what we do impacts them and the success that they have.
Brilliant. And do you just work in Cumbria or all over the UK?
Predominantly Cumbria, but we do take on clients from all over the UK. I think in the business that we're in, obviously we do a lot of digital work for clients as well. So yeah, we are open to UK-wide clients.
Fantastic. And I've seen, obviously, you picked up on a few colleagues of mine and actually taken them forward, which is amazing. And it is important, isn't it, about getting your name and your brand out there, because we're just going to go onto that shortly. But what's unique and different about you? Because there's shed loads of PR agents, social media people, content writers, copywriters, the whole lot. What's different about you and your business?
Well, I think in terms of the team, we're a creative team. We've got ex-reporters, journalists, from the Evening Standard Times. We've got professional photographers as well, and videographers, graphic designers. So we're a creative group. So we know from our experience what the papers want. So if you come to us with a story, we can say, right, we've worked the other side of it. We've worked in newsrooms. We know the stories that people are looking for, and we know how to get you the coverage. We also have between us a lot of contacts from that previous experience as well. But I think one of the really unique things that particularly interested me in Intro when I first joined was the values that Intro have. Like, everybody at Intro is really focused on, helping the community, in particular, local community. So it's really nice to work with people that have those values, and that, we really want to make a difference. I think particularly at the moment when a lot of local businesses have really been struggling, it's nice to actually be able to help them and see that difference as well. And it's not just in the work that we do, because we also have a big focus on local community in writing our local newsletters. So we get local news out there. And we also created the Historic Quarter Network as well, which is kind of linking, I mentioned the Historic Quarter earlier, by the cathedral. It's linking together all of those businesses for kind of the greater good, which is just brilliant. It's a way that excuse me, that we can showcase Carlisle and Cumbria as well, as a brilliant place to be. And we work with all different sizes of companies, all different types of businesses. So it does really feel like we can cater for, the smaller budgets. Some people come to us just wanting to do a PR pack, one of our PR packages as a one-off. And then we have some clients that have bigger budgets that they want to do really kind of wacky, out there, creative ideas. And it's really, like I said earlier, it's really nice to be able to see that process from start to finish, and see even, whether it's a smaller client or a bigger client, what we can really achieve for them and their businesses.
You're quite results focused for them, are you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's obviously different businesses have different challenges, and they'll come to us with things that they might want to promote in particular, or they might just want to generally get kind of brand awareness out there. But we can do everything from, like I say, getting press coverage in the papers and things, which is a very like physical thing. We can also do online, like social media, paid campaigns and Google ads, and all of those things are ways that we can actually show the value. So this is the money you've put in, this is what you get out of it as well as obviously that kind of the brand awareness and getting people talking about businesses, really, which is the key thing.
It's vital. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So what do you do right now that's relevant for the hospitality industry? I know I cover different industries, but my specialism is hospitality and business. And what would you say you cover? Because I have found it very interesting in the last few months, listening to different businesses. Some businesses are very key on keeping marketing going, but as costs start to increase and as things start to change, they look at the marketing element of the business. And I covered it in an FAQ Friday a couple of weeks ago. The marketing element, they start to cost cut on that. And I always say it's the last thing to go, because getting your name and your brand out there is vital. So what for the hospitality industry would your company do that's relevant for them right now?
Well, I think I completely agree with what you're saying, and we do see that a lot, where it's, you know, we have to cut costs. Businesses are going, oh, we need to cut costs, and it does end up being marketing that kind of falls down. But it's so important to keep that out there, keep your name and your business out there, so that you can attract those new clients. And you know, I think what we do is beneficial to any business, because any business needs to be shouting about what they do. But I think, as you say, particularly over the last few months, even more so in the hospitality industry, you know, businesses have taken such a hit in the pandemic, and it is more important than ever to keep on shouting about what you do, like keep people talking about your brand, keep saying why you're brilliant at what you do. You know, you need to be talking about it, and that means, you know, keeping on top of your social media, trying to get stories out there in the paper. You know, you need to be front of mind the whole time, and you know, that's what PR marketing is all about, you know, getting that value. And I think it's important as well to not only think about getting the attention right now, so we can, you know, we can speak to a company and say, right, that's a brilliant story, we've picked up on this and we think we should run with that and pitch it to press and get your name out there right now. But you have to think about doing that. Each time you do that, you're also impacting the future, because you're making it so that you are at the forefront of people's minds. Because, you know, people do forget, people get distracted, there's a lot of content to consume every day. You know, people are on their phones, people are watching things on telly and adverts, and it's a lot, and you need to be in that as well to be able to compete. So I think, as I say, that's for every business, but particularly the hospitality industry, with, you know, the damage that the last 18 months or so has done.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I actually get approached quite a bit of different businesses from organisations who might be looking to cater for a conference or an event, and want to spend tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of pounds with venues. And then if I can't think of them because I've not seen them in the media or I've not seen them online for a while, I've forgotten who they are. And yet it's only when somebody says, why have you not tried such a body? And I go, gosh, they would have been my go-to place. But because they're not out there, I've not even thought about them.
Yeah.
You're right, we're all busy people, and we're not thinking about that element of the time, you know, that element, unless we really need it, you know, and it's interesting.
I think as well, people jump to the conclusion that, oh, I can't do marketing, I haven't got thousands of pounds to put towards this, that, or the other. But you don't need to be spending thousands of pounds. And, you know, a lot of the time the best marketing, the best PR is just finding that little story that you have and running with that, and naturally people wanting to know about it, people naturally picking up on it and sharing it. You know, you see that all the time with things that go viral on social media as well, and sometimes it'll be the most bizarre thing, but it's things like that that are kind of interesting. I know recently we had for a veterinary practice that we were having just one of our usual catch-ups with them, and it was like, oh, what's been happening this week? And a dog had come in with a problem and had to have a blood transfusion. And we were talking about this within the team, and everyone was like, what is that? Like, wow, of course dogs have to have blood transfusions as well. People do, dogs obviously do as well, but it's just not something that you think about. But you know, we were like, right, we are pitching that story. That is a brilliant story. People need to know about this. And you know, things like that that are just every day to a vet that, you know, Joe Public would just, it blows your mind, and people talk about it, and it's those things that people talk about, and that's all kind of natural, like word of mouth. And oh, where was that story? And then they mentioned the name of the vets, and you know, word of mouth has a lot of value, and that is free, you know. So it's just picking those stories and finding what it is that people want to talk about, and that doesn't take thousands of pounds. That's just thinking a bit creatively.
And I think if they tell you who their ideal client is as well, it helps you to focus on where to head that media campaign to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I always ask my interviewees, my guests to my Showcase Sunday, what are your 5 top tips?
Top tips, I think things that we've covered, probably number one, I would say, do invest in your PR and marketing. Like we've said, you know, so many people don't, or it gets put way down the priority list, but it's just so important to keep on that. You know, even if it's little and often, just keep going with it and make sure that your business is out there, because the more it's out there, the more likely you are to attract customers. Excuse me. And it can be affordable, like we've said. I know, like at Intro, we do our PR package, which is just a one-off payment, and it's, you know, through that people can just talk to us. It literally takes 20 minutes, and we'll talk to them and we learn about their business, and we're on a mission in that call to find out what it is, what the story is, what is there that is that hook that the press will want to pick up on. And we do that. We pitch the story to our contacts, we write the press release, and we've got professional photographers, as I mentioned earlier, who will come and produce all the photography, and that's photography that you can then use on your website, on your social media. You own that as well. So, you know, things like that, you get a lot of value from something like that, and it's not a big long commitment. So do look at the options for investing in PR marketing and make sure that you do keep doing that consistently. So that'd be number one. And number two, do trust that you have a story. We're talking about these stories, and like I said with the vets, you know, that was like just chat, and oh, this thing happened, and chat, and it's like, whoa, take a step back, like what was that you just said? You know, everybody has a story, and so often we hear people saying, oh, we don't really have anything to talk about right now, because they think marketing or PR, it has to be something really big. They have to be launching something, or there needs to be like a new product or a new service, or they've had a refurb. You know, it doesn't always have to be that. You will have a story, and even if it's something that feels very kind of, you know, daily standard to you as a business, there will be people that want to know about it. So I think it's just talking to the right people that can kind of pull that out of you and say, that is a good story, we can do that. So yeah, trust that you do have a story. And I think across all marketing, number 3, I would say, just to be consistent. I think particularly on social media, it does feel a bit like the rat race. It feels like you're competing all the time, and it's like, oh, that business has posted however many times today, and you know, it don't focus so much on the quantity of what you're doing. You know, it's not just trying to throw things out there. Make sure that what you're putting out there, what you're posting on social media, on your website, even on posters and things, you know, in your business, make sure it's all consistent. Make sure it's, you know, good quality. It represents you as a brand. We do a lot of work at Intro on branding, and you know, providing clients with graphics and things for social media to make sure that you can see it. You know, you're scrolling through all this stuff. We all do it. You scroll through on your phone, and then what is it that catches your eye? It's something that, you know, obviously is interesting, or like it's going to catch your eye, but it's, do you immediately see that post and think, oh, that's that brand? And it's so important to make sure that you do that it's consistent, that your brand represents you. So yeah, I would say be consistent in what you're doing. Try not to get too caught up in the amount of stuff that you're doing. It's not a competition, is a little bit, but make sure that you know, the quality is there over and above everything else. And I think knowing your audience, so number 4, I would say knowing your audience. Because even if you've got what you want to say, you need to make sure that you're actually sending that message out to the right people at the right time. You know, you could shout all day about a kid's toy, for example, or something like that, and you're only hitting grannies or like great grandparents or people in a home. You know, it's not related. So you need to make sure that you hitting that right audience. And I think it's taking the time to actually research how you access them. So you know who your audience is. How do you get to them? You know, are they reading certain publications? Do you know that they love to read in Cumbria, for example, or a certain newspaper? Or are they going to be influenced by somebody like an influencer on social media working with your brand? Are they following a certain Facebook group? You know, make sure that you're targeting them in the place that they're going to be there and actually listen to what you're saying. And finally, I think, and this is like a big one for Intro, it's thinking outside the box. So you can get caught up in all of the, you know, social media posts and the day-to-day, running your business, but actually thinking outside the box and you know, thinking creatively, bigger ideas. And I know recently we've worked with Eden Valley Hospice on their 30th anniversary campaign, which was it's been a brilliant experience. And you know, you think anniversary, birthday, you know, it could have been a simple post, that social post that's put out there, but no, let's think bigger. Let's think bigger. So we had a bit of an ideas session around it, and anyway, we decided to do these huge birthday cards, like 5'6" birthday cards. And we, as I said before, you know, we really want to bring all the community together. That's involved in a lot of what we do. So we sent these big birthday cards out to different businesses, to local schools, and we just said, you know, this is what we're doing, this is what we're, you know, celebrating. Can you decorate one of these cards for the hospice? So in the end, we had all these cards, and like, right, where are we going to put these cards? Where do they live? Where are they going to get noticed? And you know, some people watching this might have actually seen, but we ended up we put them up on the castle ramparts. So it was like a giant mantelpiece with all these huge birthday cards, and you know, things like that. It gets people talking. We brought the community together. It's for a good cause. I mean, the hospice again has suffered massively through the pandemic, with people not being able to fundraise. So you know, anything that we feel that we can do and contribute to helping with that is just amazing. So yeah, there was this mantelpiece a birthday card on the castle. Everyone must have been like, what's going on up there? But you know, it gets news coverage. The papers want to talk about it, word of mouth. People are saying, what was that about? And then, oh, well, we actually saw something on social media that it's actually for the hospice. And then people start talking about the hospice. So yeah, try and just think outside the box, talk to other people, talk to people within your business. There might be people that work for you that have brilliant ideas, but you're not accessing that, you're not talking to them, or they don't feel confident enough, they don't feel like it's their place to talk about ideas or marketing. You know, make sure that you have those conversations. And you know, if you do get the opportunity to work with an agency or somebody that thinks creatively like that, then you know, trust them to do that, and to kind of go a bit wacky, a bit out there, because it, you know, there is value in that. So
that's brilliant. And it's interesting because I speak to a lot of businesses who they might have had the same PR agent for a while,
yeah,
and they don't seem to be getting I don't know, the value. They don't seem to be getting the coverage, or and it's interesting you say that, because when you've been with a company for a while, for example, as your business, do you get bored of them, or do you? And that's an awful thing to ask, but I think some businesses do. You know, they don't still have that fire, and it's how do you actually overcome that to make sure that you're constantly still helping, supporting them to come out of the box, you know?
yeah,
You think of something completely out of this world that makes a massive difference.
I think I don't think it can ever get boring, to be honest. I think that there's always something happening. You know, things change in businesses all the time, whether it's new staff starting, or like I said earlier, you know, there might be a launch or a new product or a new service, but also the world around us is changing all the time as well. So there's always something to talk about. I mean, one of the things that we keep on top of is you know, like awareness days. There's so many awareness days, and so many, you know, you can literally celebrate anything that you would want to celebrate. There's some way of doing it. There's always something. And I think it's just making sure that you are keeping on top of that, seeing what is out there, what's happening in the world, and also that communication with your clients as well, because if you're not talking to them all the time, if you're not having kind of regular check-ins, then you won't know what's new with them. You won't know what's happening, or what they're interested in, or you know, how government policies are affecting their business. Or you know, it's not always the fluffy like birthday cards and things like that. You know, there's sometimes like major things going on in different industries, and you need to keep on top of those as an agency, and also keep on top of it by speaking to your client and seeing how they're impacted by these things. And I think, you know, we always say, you know, you are the expert in your business. You know your business inside out, and we know marketing. So I mean, it's a great combination.
Yeah.
And I think just making sure that you have that communication between you, to talk about what is happening and how we can help.
So do you have regular meetings every month? So do you have once a month meetings where you say, right, the next strategy is this? Or
yeah, so it depends on the client.
Yeah.
Depends obviously on what works for them.
Yeah.
Because some clients want to check in weekly or a couple of times a week. Some want to kind of, you know, we have plans where we tend to work on a 3-month plan with clients, so that we're kind of ahead, we know what's coming up, and we can plan campaigns. But yeah, some clients want regular check-ins, and others are just like, right, we trust you, here's what we want to achieve, and you've got your plan, and they kind of send us off to have that kind of creative freedom, really.
Wow.
So yeah, just every business is different, and we just adapt to that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So if can I ask you, have you got any examples of how you've helped clients? Obviously you've just mentioned the big example of the birthday cards and
Yeah.
letter cards, which is
Yeah.
fantastic, and to have that on the castle is absolutely crazy. Brilliant.
It was brilliant.
It's just
So good.
fantastic.
So good.
So what else would you say if someone was sitting on the fence right now and they're saying, oh, this all sounds great, they're a bit fed up with the PR and marketing at the moment because nothing seems to be working,
Yeah.
or they haven't got any PR and marketing, what would you say to them, or what would your current clients or your past clients say to them to say you've got to work with intro PR?
Well, we have some brilliant clients, really brilliant clients, and I think the things that come up when we speak to them are that we're very personable, and you know, we produce very high quality work. And I think also, like I've said, we have great ideas, not to boast, but you know, we're a group of very creative people, and we love getting together and just kind of throwing ideas around and seeing what we can come up with. And that's something that we do very frequently. So I think if you're on the fence, I think I would just say, you know, some of the things I've said, like remember how important it is to invest in marketing and PR, and the value that you can get from creative people is just, it can be a complete game changer. I think particularly, you know, smaller businesses and things, it's maybe, as I've said, we don't have very much budget for that, or we can't afford to do that right now. But if you think about the value of not only the work that we can do and getting your brand out there, but also the value of giving you your time, because that's something that I think in every business, but particularly in small businesses where you may be having to wear lots of different hats, you know, you're having to do maybe some front of house work if it's, you know, in the hospitality industry, or you might be having to do accounts and your marketing and look after your staff. There's a lot of different things to consider, and if you can just trust a marketing PR agency to take some of that from you, and as I said, you know, from a simple phone call, we can get to know what your business needs are, what you want to be pushing out there. And I think it's just trusting that we know marketing. As I said, you know your business, and together that can be a really good combination, and it can take that pressure off you if you have a team that you know that you can call on for a whole number of things. I mean, we get clients that we have that we're doing, you know, we're managing their social media account for them, and then on top of that we're kind of looking out for 1 or 2 press stories per month that we do for them as well, so we're getting that out there. And then there might be other random things, like they might say, oh, we've just done this, could you come and take some photos for us, or we're, you know, we've got an event, or we've got this new service, and can you come and do a video? And then we're making sure that everything that we do, we're putting out there across all platforms. So something that could be kind of, oh, we'll come along and do a quick video, we'll also take some photos. We might say, this is a great story actually for PR, we'll go away and we'll write a press release for you and get that out there. And then that video could go on their website with the press release, or like a web version of the press release. And then all of that can be linked from their social media accounts. We can do a series of posts about whatever it is that we've just done a video on. So it's kind of linking all of that together. So for one business to do that in-house, that's a lot of work. But if you pass that over to an agency or somebody that you can trust, it just takes all of that stress from it. All you need to do is have a quick conversation and then sign things off when it's done, and then, you know, we can kind of take over the rest. So I think, you know, it's so worthwhile to do that, and as I say, not just for the value of having that news coverage, but also time, because it is so precious to have that time back. And
I think money as well, you know, when you look, your packages are cracking value. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I've seen so many different prices coming in from PR and marketing agents who don't do a fraction of what you do and charge probably double what you do. And it is fascinating because you can tell you love what you do. You can tell that you're very passionate about your clients and about making sure that they get the best out of what you offer. And you're right, it takes the pressure, the stress, the time, and it's not that much money when you think about it. It saves you hiring a photographer, a videographer, PR agent, a social media marketing agent. You know, when you look at it, it's all in
You've just
one.
got everything in one
Yeah.
lovely little package of us.
Oh, it is. No, that's brilliant. So what is the best way to get in touch with you? If someone's looking here now and they're going, wow, I'm sold with this, because those, you know, when you mention the packages, do you want to mention some more packages that you offer right now?
Well, I think the best thing to do is if you go onto our website, which I think you can put the details on. So if you go onto our website, you can read about our packages, you can read about some of our clients, there's testimonials on there as well. And also there's a way of contacting us directly through email. So anything that you might want to ask us for more information, or if you've got something coming up that you would like us to help you with, if you just do the form, the online form on the website, then that comes directly to our inbox and we can go from there. And we also obviously have our social media platforms as well, so keep an eye on those, because there's all sorts on there, because we also have a pop-up space under our offices, and so there's all sorts always going on. It's a bit of a the hustle and bustle of our offices is something to keep an eye on. So yeah, do follow us on social media as well to keep up to date.
Brilliant. And to follow you on social media, what would they look for?
Intro. If you look for Intro, we are Intro. And I'll obviously put everything on
all the details here.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Would you like to add anything at all, Sally?
Just a thank you for having me. And also I hope that what we've talked about has been helpful for people. Yeah, and any questions or anything, obviously just let us know. We're happy to help, or happy to just have a conversation with you.
Wow, well, so much content, so many top tips, so much advice.
Bombarded, your head's
going to know, but I was sat there going, wow, this is amazing. And you know, if only I could pop you in my pocket in America as well, you know, it'd be quite
always at the end of the phone, Alison.
No, it's brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me on the Showcase Sunday this week. It's been an absolute honour and a pleasure. And I'm so grateful for all of the content that you've just given. If people can't go away with what to do with a video footage, photography, and all the top tips that goes out with that, it's crazy. But you're right. And when you look at what you offer, the pressure, the time and the money that you save is just unbelievable, and the stress that you take off. And because you're all creative brains, and when you're a business owner and you're working in your business, then how amazing would it be with somebody with a creative brain to say, right, I'll sort that out, don't worry about it, the pressure's off.
Yeah, there you go, just pass it over, because it's hard to think creatively if you're under pressure in a business. Yeah, pass it over.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, thank you very much, Sally, and thank you for joining me. And happy Showcase Sunday, everybody. Have a fantastic Showcase Sunday and all the very best. Thank you.